Hi Gemma Rose and anyone else who's interested. This is my COMU1999 Assessment 2 Work in Progress project rationale. I've titled my project Man-Made. That's because my story is a juxtaposition of physical aesthetics and architectural and design aesthetics, and the shared pursuit to achieve something beautiful and create something that's pleasing to the eye. My audience is a general viewing audience. It could be more specific to males, as there's an emphasis on men's fitness in the physical aesthetic images, but I believe overall the story would be interesting to just about anyone. What I want my audience to know is to have an understanding and appreciation of the connection between man's pursuit for architectural and physical aesthetics and their shared similarities. What I want my audience to feel, I really want the images to evoke a sense of awe and to be aspirational, to be powerful looking as well as interesting and surprising when noticing some of the similarities in the shapes that reappear across the two stories. The visual language for the images is fairly dynamic and vibrant. It's really crisp and sharp images because I'm really trying to emphasize shape in a lot of the images. I've always loved architectural photography without knowing all that much about it, and that's what's kind of led me to be interested in the topic. Viewpoint has proved to be the most important factor in taking the architectural images. It can look a bit pedestrian, some of the images, but it actually requires really considerable manoeuvring in order to capture all the lines of the structures and to achieve that geometric architectural look. One of the biggest challenges shooting the structural images has been finding angles which have the most neutral and unobtrusive backgrounds. Shooting the architectural images has been fairly dependent on good weather, which I've been lucky with so far. Bright blue skies have helped illuminate the backgrounds of the structures and to really show off their silhouettes, the details, and obviously to help capture any shadows that they cast. I've been photographing the architectural images with really deep horizons to create a sense of scale, and also it really helps to add to the grandiosity of the structures in the foreground. I've been experimenting with things like guardrails and pathways and steps to help frame the images and draw focus to the central structure. I've tried to get as much colour into the images as possible as well, either through the natural surroundings, whether it's grass or trees, or in the actual designs themselves, just to make them more appealing and for the structures to look more organic. I've incorporated a lot of colour in the physical aesthetic images as well, because it's something I can more easily control and it just makes the pictures more appealing to look at. Whereas with the architectural images, viewpoint has been the most important factor. Lighting has really come first with the physical aesthetic images in order to capture muscle definition, vascularity, whatever the shadows are capturing. I've also experimented with flash, which I surprisingly quite liked the results of. It's really perfect for, especially with these images, capturing detail in skin, for instance, veins. One of the images is of a friend of mine who has extremely vascular arms, and when the light hits them right, it creates these fantastic shadows across the ridges of his veins. So that's one of my favourite images I've photographed so far. So lighting's really proved as the most crucial element in the physical aesthetic images. There's a lot of physical choreography with the body, and then I light it, and then it's finally finding the best viewpoint that really shows off what the lighting's achieving. If you've ever seen a bodybuilder competing before and they've got those really ridiculous bronze-coloured tans, it's actually not a superficial choice, it's functional, because that way it best shows off the definition in their muscles. It's the same thing I'm doing here, except I'm using lighting to do it. I've got some great images, which I'm saving for the final 15, that didn't really make sense when shown with only 6 other images, but they'll look fantastic when it's across 15 images. I've been experimenting with inverting the framing of the images between the two different stories as well, so that when they put side by side, they kind of mirror each other. For instance, there's an image of a bodybuilder's tattooed sleeve in these 7, and a wide shot of a wall covered in graffiti. I don't love either image, and I'm likely going to reshoot both of them because I'm not satisfied with the lighting of either of them. But for the sake of better demonstrating the story I'm creating between the two, I wanted to include them in these 7, but they will be refined later on. I really hope you like what I've photographed so far, and thanks very much.